Well, hello again. It's been a little while since I posted something. I've been, we've done 2 or 3 trips, and I found that doing the trip and taking the video and trying to tell a story got in the way of what I was trying to do on the trip. Sometimes I'm hiking or cycling or whatever, and it's tricky, and at the same time the editing and so on. And so I had to come to kind of an understanding of how I was going to do this. And so what I've decided to do is to just do the pictures I take in sequence with whatever video I take and narrate the images and tell the story that way, and hopefully that's enjoyable for my audience. And so here you'll see this weekend at Emily Park is my first attempt at this approach. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Was to drive to the school with the Jeep all set to go, leave school immediately following class, and head back to the RV, buy provender, and go forward. So here's the Jeep in the parking lot, ready to go. Okay, it's Friday, May 25th, and so I'm doing a getaway here. I just left school about 20 minutes ago. I've got the canoe on the car and the bike on the back, and I put some things in the RV this morning, clothing and some dry food and so forth. So the plan right now will be to go to a food store and pick up the perishables, and then I'll go to the RV. We'll put the perishables. I also turned on the fridge this morning on the propane, and we'll switch that over to electric when we're driving, but at least right now, so theoretically the fridge is cold when we get there. And put the items in the fridge, and then and that's about all that will have to happen. The RV is ready to roll and the car is ready to go except for the hitching, so we have to deploy the tow system for the Jeep, as the Jeep's going with us tonight. And Nadine is off with a friend this weekend, so I'm doing myself. So I'm going to Emily Provincial Park, Site 179, to do some hiking, canoeing, cycling, whatever, training kind of outdoorsy things for the weekend. And if it all works as advertised, I hope to be there by 7. So we'll see. Right now, want to be at the RV at 4:30, and of course I'm caught in 30-kilometer traffic jam here. But at least it's moving, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Going north on the 404, but it's been stop and go now for 20 kilometers, maybe more, and I've got about 30 to go. So I'll go to Newmarket, grab some dinner with me, and also the perishable things, and then we're down the road. So I'm hoping, I believe Emily Park's about 100 kilometers away. It might be a bit less than that. So if we're clear of the storage by 5:30, then we should make it. And now that's, that might be a bit of an if. We'll have to see how long the shopping takes, how long everything, always these ancillary activities all seem to take longer than we'd like them to be. And yeah, right now it's 10 to 4, and so like I said, in 3 hours, if I could be pulling into Site 179, that would be pretty good. That'd give me a couple of hours of time this evening. Now I also have to configure the RV, and that takes a few minutes too, but we'll see. So that's where we sit right now here on the 404 for this expedition, which is a short one. It's just a 2-nighter, a 2-day type trip, but chance to get away a little bit now that summer finally has come to Southern Ontario. So we'll update you later, and thanks for watching. Here's the RV and the Jeep all connected together, ready to start out. So it's about 53 feet long when we're all done there. Okay, everybody, so it's around, there's the sea breeze behind us there, and the Jeep attached to it. That's our whole unit. So it's about 5:45, so since 4 o'clock I've driven up the highway, shopped twice, had a bit of dinner, and connected through all the stuff in the RV, and connected the Jeep. So it's gone fairly well, and the weather hasn't been fighting me too much. So now I just have to do my final checks and head off to Emily Park. Well, okay, folks, so here we are, and approximately 25 kilometers to go to Emily Park. We're going to be a little bit later, but not bad. It took approximately an hour, not quite an hour, to turn things around at the RV, but I think that went pretty well, and there was probably maybe 10 minutes there that maybe didn't have to be done, but mostly it was, you know, going to be that 45-minute thing, so that's good to know. And I otherwise been driving along fairly well. I had my generator turned on with the switch that I had invented, and it ran for maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, and now it's quit again. I don't know why. I have a feeling that that generator's outlived its usefulness, and that's just maybe how it is from now on. We don't really need it a great deal anyway, so that's something that we'll probably have to live with. So I'm just coming into Oakwood right now. We're not quite to Lindsay, and we'll pass Lindsay on Highway 7/35, and then head to Peace Road, which is at the south end of Pigeon Lake, and then north 2 kilometers to the park. That's sort of the plan. Knock on wood, so far the RV seems to be operating just fine, and we're just rolling along here, and thought I'd give you an update. So we'll let you know how things turn out when we get to the site. See you later. By the time I arrived, it was getting fairly dark. This is the picture the next morning of the campsite and how everything looked. Emily Park is an interesting park with the campgrounds arrayed in circular patterns, and this is some of the campground roads you'll see there. Smaller ones are partially gravel, but it's a very nice little park, and it's a very popular one. And so I did some walking around, and here's a picture of some pretty lilacs as well before I began my canoeing adventure. The canoeing here is basically on the Pigeon River that leads north, in this case, to Pigeon Lake. It's approximately 5 or 6 kilometers north of the park, and that was a very enjoyable canoe ride on a large river. There were some power boats, but certainly nothing that made it difficult to ride along in the canoe. And there was a nice bay, as you can see here. I was inside. The Pigeon River is underneath that bridge, and it was very pretty inside. A great number of carp and so on were visible and created a disturbance when you startled them. Anyhow, this was a very nice little paddle. So this is the south end of Pigeon Lake. That's the river. And there's the lake. Bonnie and Ian are at the other end of there somewhere. So it's about a 5-kilometer paddle from Emily Park to here, plus or minus. Nice day, warm and humid, but almost calm. It's beautiful. This is the first day I'm trying the solid water jug as a ballast instead of the flexible one. It's a lot easier to fill it, and it weighs about the same. So that may be something we do again. And here I am, out for a canoe. Very nice day here, just what I needed. So, we're at the mouth of the Pigeon River. We'll try this video thing, and hopefully I won't knock the camera over with my canoe paddle. We'll see if I can be careful enough. The carp are just something else today. They're breeding, I think, and there's a lot of activity there. It's amazing. Hope I don't make you seasick with all the rolling here. Let's tip it down a touch. There we go. And we'll turn it just so you don't have to look at the jug the whole day. Yeah, that's more like it. Took it out on the first go here. There's a sea doer. Okay. I'm going to cross over to the other side. I've seen the east side of the river, and we'll go down the other side. I guess if I do that, I'll turn the camera. Let's get over there before we get run over here. And the whole field of riding, going along for the ride for a few minutes. I'm going to think that from Emily Park to Bonnie, it's going to be about 25. Plus or minus, so it's a day. You know, that's a pretty good one way. Well, two ways would be a long day, but depends on when you start, I guess. That'd be, you know, the 50 kind of day, which I'm not saying can't do it, but don't do it on the first day of yearly traveling, you know. Pretty quiet here compared to what you might expect in the summertime, and I guess not everybody comes up every weekend. Shore a little bit and see what's going on. So there's a lighthouse. Amazing. Everybody's got a beautiful view there. Bit of a complex here with all these yellow houses. I wonder if it's
cottages or somebody won the lottery or what's going on with that. It's pretty. I've just gotten started now going back. I've done a total of about 6 in the canoe. So we'll go past Emily Park probably and see what's on the other side as it narrows down. So at Emily Park, like many others, infrastructure gets tired. They've done a lot here this year. We've got new dump stations, which are really nice. And this is a marsh trail. It's a boardwalk over the marshland, which is a great idea. But of course, these types of boardwalks get rotten and worn out after a while, and you got to fix them. And that's what they're doing here. They're not finished yet, but it's looking really nice. So hopefully, as time goes by, so it's not enough just to pay to operate parks. You've got to pay to keep the infrastructure in place. But this is a really good start here.
Sunday, I decided to make a bicycle ride. I really enjoy riding on the rail trails, and in Ontario we have quite a number of them now, which is really nice to see. So you ride about 3 kilometers south of Emily Park on the county road, and in this case I went left and went east on the rail trail that led into Peterborough. As you can see from this bridge right now, the views are spectacular. This is a large bridge, probably 200 or 300 meters long, and you may get almost 100 feet or more above the ground outside. As you can see from some of the pictures, it's absolutely spectacular. And so I really enjoyed this part of it, and this ultimately led right into Peterborough proper. And you go through wetlands and marshes and all the rest of it, and of course right downtown into Peterborough town, where I needed to buy some things, and I was enjoying just seeing the nature and the trail itself. Its surface is a fine crushed stone, and anything other than, say, a racing bike will get along very well on this, a mountain bike or something like that with tires. The stone it's not very deep, so you're not getting into any kind of soft material. It rides along pretty well. I maintain probably 20-21 kilometers an hour or something like that on the trail without really pushing it too much. And I hadn't been on the bike very much this spring, pardon me. And you can see now as we get into Peterborough, the river there and some of the bridges. And then you come out of the trail in downtown Peterborough, and here's some of the buildings in the downtown area. And I rode, after getting what I needed at the store, then I rode around and saw some of the bridges in town, and rode over that one, and also this one in the distance as well as I circled around. Thank you for watching.